Cleopatra's African heritage in Netflix docudrama sparked uproar in Egypt.
You know what? Egyptian says we're not gonna let y'all Black Americans
Keep stealing our lineage.
reveal this true history. We can't do that.
So there's a whole big thing over there. And it kind of started, if you think back, we talked about it before with Kevin Hart when he said that the Egyptians were black. And apparently that made some, that made some of them very angry. And he ended up having to cancel his shows over there in Egypt. So they ain't playing about this no more. This all right, so right here, Queen Cleopatra, Netflix sued by an Egyptian lawyer for blackwashing history. An Egyptian
Is that what
lawyer,
they're doing?
huh?
Is that what we're doing?
It's their history, ain't it? That's what they're saying.
George said she is Kevin Hart light. Kevin Hart is delicate.
Delicate. An Egyptian lawyer has filed a case with the public prosecutor to close the Netflix platform after the trailer of Queen Cleopatra was released, which depicts a Greek historical figure as a black-skinned woman. According to the Egyptian Independent, Muhammad al-Semary demanded that all legal measures be taken against those responsible for the documentary and the management of the streaming platform for its participation in this crime. He called it a crime.
George says she was Greek. She was Greek and African.
She was a biracial woman. But I think her father was Greek, so
her father was Greek.
Her father was Greek, so yeah, she was Greek, but her
mother was not Greek.
Egyptian. Get back to this. He also called for an investigation and for Netflix to be blocked in Egypt. The complaint submitted against the streaming platform said that most of what Netflix platform displays contradicts Islamic and societal values and principles, especially Egyptian ones. It added that the platform displayed an advertisement that attracted millions of people in the world to watch the documentary Queen Cleopatra, who was of Greek origin, depicting her as a black woman, unlike Egyptian history and civilization. The case said that the documentary promotes Afrocentrism that is widely spread on social media, which have slogans and writings aimed at distorting and obliterating the Egyptian identity. The complaint continued addressing public prosecution in order to preserve the Egyptian national and cultural identity among Egyptians all over the world and take pride in it, and to consolidate the spirit of belonging to the homeland. And accordingly, we ask and seek you to take the necessary legal measures against this platform.
Regina said, "Issa Rae, Travis? No. Yes, she is." George said she was the best sucking and effing of all time, according to all the important people her Greek ass conquered.
Well, that's part of the reason why she was such a.
So she was a Kamala Harris before Kamala Harris.
Pretty much. It's funny how since the beginning of time, all of history was whitewashed. Now they're complaining about a flip.
No, they complain about the fact that truth is being revealed, and they don't like that it's being revealed.
And this is kind of what they always do when it comes to black people in particular. When black people really start reading, because they tell you we don't read, but when we really start reading and looking at history and we come to our own conclusion of, oh, this is what was really happening, they tell you wrong and you read it wrong and that's not what it really was. Even though you can go read books they wrote. If you don't believe you should be allowed to read a book that was written by a black person because it'd be too bias. Okay, I'll go read books written by whites and Arabs and Egyptians that'll say the same thing, but they'll still tell you read it wrong, you misinterpreted, and all this other stuff. So this is the official.
Eastwood said, "I was in Egypt, and majority of them embrace their African roots instead of their European influences."
Well, that's what I saw. A girl on TikTok said that. She said that she's Egyptian, but when she talked to Egyptians outside of Egypt, they look at her like she's not Egyptian. But when she's in Egypt, they understand, where this is how Egypt looked. And she was a brown-skinned woman. Netflix upcoming docudrama Queen Cleopatra, in which Britain's Adele James, who is mixed heritage, plays a first-century Egyptian ruler as a queen of African roots, is sparking uproar in Egypt. Egyptian academics are claiming that Cleopatra, who was born in the Egyptian city of Alexandria in 69 BC and belonged to a Greek-speaking dynasty, was of European descent and not black. An Egyptian lawyer has reportedly filed a complaint. We know. Netflix did not immediately comment regarding the choice of casting Adele James as Cleopatra. Netflix's promotional website to them in February quoted Jada Pinkett Smith, who is the show's executive producer.
Yep.
Jada Pinkett has that Cleopatra energy on her too.
He definitely does.
That queen mother energy. Yeah.
He told you about it.
All right, let me get back. And saying that since the queen's heritage is being debated, it has a nod to the centuries-long conversation about the ruler's race. We don't often get to see or hear stories about Black queens, and that was really important for me, as well as for my daughter, and just for my community to be able to know those stories, because there are tons of them. She knows it. Well, why not get one that's not debated? Why not go get one that's not debated then? You wouldn't got one that's debatable, according to them at least. And knowing it would create controversy. You knew it.
Yeah, they knew it.
You saw what just happened with Kevin Hart. They ain't playing about this no more.
They canceled his ass.
There's no doubt among scholars that Cleopatra was Macedonian Greek on her father's side, we know. But since the ethnic origin of her mother is not known, some historians says it's possible the Egyptian ruler's mother was African and therefore that she had been mixed heritage. Last week's trailer drop for Queen Cleopatra has caused a stir in Egypt. We know all that already.
He loves zaddies because daddy was a zaddy.
Yeah, that's why Cleopatra is such a story, because this is a queen of Egypt being a mistress to a conquering nation like Rome. I mean, not Rome, it's like the Greeks. So it's like you got this Greek ruler who's making our queen a mistress, a side chick, basically. That's kind of like, that's going to be viewed a certain way. So it led to a lot of stuff behind her. But on the opposite side, Mark Antony, who was the ruler who she was the mistress for, Mark Antony, he got a lot of backlash because they saw him, they felt like he was being seduced by an Egyptian woman. They felt like he was giving his power to her. So it was a very interesting time. Now, let me move forward. Now, this is the director of the show. Queen Cleopatra director Tina Garava addresses Adele James casting backlash, docuseries, whatever. Tina is speaking out against the backlash surrounding the upcoming Netflix docudrama. The series casually star Adele James as an iconic Egyptian ruler. We know. She said, I remember as a kid seeing Elizabeth Taylor play Cleopatra. Captivated. But even then, I felt the image was not right. Was her skin really that white? With this new production, could I find the answers about Cleopatra's heritage and release her from the stronghold that Hollywood has placed in the image? Now, what do you think about that? There was no backlash, or at least at the time there may have been.
Or Elizabeth Taylor?
Or Elizabeth Taylor playing
because
Cleopatra.
they don't mind a Caucasian person playing them. It's just only a person of darker hue playing them they have a problem with.
They don't like that.
They take honor in a white person playing them.
Oh yeah. All right, let me go here right quick. All right, this is a website called Rasta Livewire. It said the indigenous Berbers of Africa by natural mystics. Now, whenever you talk to people from Egypt, really from the East Africa, North Africa, and a lot of those closer Asiatic countries, those Central Asian countries or Arab countries, they call it Middle East countries, they'll refer to them as Berbers, especially the North Africa. They refer to them as North African Berbers, and when they say that, they'll say those people were Arab or European descent or Caucasian descent. But North African Berbers were black-skinned people. Now, that's documented. So when they say North African Berbers, it's like, African. You just change the name. It's a Moor. Pretty much. They're Moors, so it's like they're still black. Matter of fact, there's an example here. This woman here, she said, Cleopatra was ethnically Greek and Berber, not black African. They've taken that word Berber to mean not black, which is funny because they also use terms like swarthy and tawny. We talked about that before. The term swarthy just means darker brown. The term tawny means lighter brown. You can make an argument. Tawny means middle or middle brown, whatever you want to call it, and lighter brown, and swarthy means darker brown. So there's only two complexions in
It's more than
historically.
two complexions.
There are two complexions historically. That's just what it is.
It's more than two complexions.
So the same people who say that swarthy and tawny, white people or Caucasians, they'll say swarthy and tawny and talking about hair color, brown hair, black hair, or blonde.
Red too.
Oh, red too. They'll say that's Suardi and Tony there. So every time they mention color in those old historical books from 1800, 1700, 1600, whatever, they always say that they're actually referring to hair color, not skin color. Even though when you look at the history of the words they use, the words usually refer to skin color. They just change it. All right, this is a website I've been using for a long time called Real History www.com. Y'all probably already know this website. This website is created by, I guess it's a group of black men or one, I'm not sure.
I think it's a group.
And they went through history and read all these books and got all this information together and put it on one website, tell you the history of the world and the true history. That's why they call it Real History. And on this website, they talk about Egypt, they talk about the Assyrian Empire, the Alexander Ottomans, they talk about
George
recent
said you
history.
want some more confusion.
What you say? What's that?
Said you want some more confusion.
Who I do?
You talking? He ain't talking to me.
All right, let me just read this. So it's talking about the Turks here. I want to go down. You see here they call the Turks white, and they have books that they're saying are referring to them as not white. But let me go back right quick. All right, you see here on this website they talk about Sumer, Syria, and all down. They talk about Iran, Canaan, Canaanites, Palestine, and Israel, and how all these places, all these civilizations, as Black history. So I'm gonna go through some of this. And on his website, they talk about how whenever African Americans talk about Egyptians being Black, how they always poo-poo it and act like we just don't know what we're talking about. You see here, why do only African Americans believe in the Black Egyptian hypothesis? The whole world racist, or is it just wrong? And this is who they want you to think are the real Egyptians, which don't make sense. You want me to believe that these people were able to stand in the sun with no shirt on, all butt naked almost, according to them, for centuries, and just be able to live out there no problem. But right now, in modern day, if they do the same thing, they'll end up with cancer and die.
Yeah,
they want me to believe that
they got to go put on all that damn sunscreen, messing up the fucking ocean.
So they now you talk about also, I cannot remember the word. There's a word they use for whenever these archaeologists or the Egyptologists, whenever they get the art from Egypt and they want to clean it, as they call it, or restore it, conserve it or whatever, they have an artistic right to change certain things in order to make it fit what the overall picture will look like. Because some of these things are damaged and all that stuff. So when they repair it, they get to make a decision on what they want to add or take away from it. I forgot the word. There's a word for it. Basically, they get to make the thing whatever color they want to make it, make the nose shape, the face, whatever they want to make it, because they can say this is how it should look, even though they can just lie.
Gina says sunscreen, wearing linen, lots of clothing, etc.
Oh man, we see here. I'm just showing this website. Y'all can go to it if you want to, and they document all the people there and all throughout the Middle East, because
they hide the people of color in those countries.
Well, yeah, definitely Iran and Saudi Arabia and all that stuff.
George, I didn't pass your comment. I put your comment on the screen. Stop lying.
The mummy DNA unravels ancient Egyptians' ancestry. Findings show that mummies' closest kin were ancient farmers from a region that includes the present-day Israel and Jordan. Modern Egyptians, by contrast, have inherited more of their DNA from Central Africans. Now, this is what I believe is the reason why they lie about the North Africans. It's the reason why they lie about the East Africans instead of those countries were normally Arab and Muslim.
Why?
Because who's in Israel right now?
We know this is all
the Khazars.
For.
And the Khazars are there in Israel, and they're saying that they are the lineage, they are the people of the book, they are the chosen people by the Most High God. Well, if the people in Israel look one way, but those people had a relationship with the people in Egypt, and they look another way, well, how the hell was Moses able to be in the Pharaoh's house and be mistaken for a damn Egyptian? If the Egyptians are Black, but Moses was able to be in his house and get mistaken for an Egyptian, and that means the people in Israel right now ain't supposed to be over there. So that's why they lie. Same thing with North Africa. We talk about we got his name. They got a documentary on. We talked about it before. Hannibal. He was out of North Africa. If they tell you that man who went against Rome was African, then you're gonna find out a lot of other places around him look a different way as well.
Right?
Huh?
He was Phoenician, right?
No,
No.
no. He was in North Africa. I forgot the name of the country, but he might have been. I'm not sure. I forgot a lot about him. But yeah. Anyway,
Y'all
that's just a little bit of that.
Oh,
Hit that. Wait, thank you. And then remove. All right. I also want to show this.
Most of the people in Egypt understand tiny hats are not the real people.
Oh yeah, they know.
Y'all see where since the Columbus lie unraveled, now it's the Vikings that discover America. If you go back far enough, you'll see melanin kings give it up. Yep, we know who the Vikings are.
We know who the Vikings are. That's what those
are Israelites.
the Vikings. We are talking about what's that movie? 300 Spartans.
Yeah.
The Phoenicians. I mean, you talking about all those people. Those were all the same. Look, man. You talk about Europe. Europe was not who they consider the native or indigenous Europeans are not the natural indigenous Europeans. they lying.
Travis always eating Eastwood comments. Fuck you, George. I read everybody comments, or if it's important enough to read.
Ooh, if it's important. I want to show this video right here. Now, this is the movie 10 Commandments. I know y'all remember this movie. We used to watch this movie when we was kids.
Hold on. Brendan said, didn't the former president of Egypt say the Jews left black and came back white?
Exactly.
Yes, he did.
That's exactly what he said. Yep.
George, did you read anything about Islam, Travis?
George be on your part. All right. Now, the movie 10 Commandments. If you remember, I know y'all remember that movie. They used to play it all the time when we was kids. In this movie obviously is about Moses bringing the children of Israel out of Egypt. Now, they made everybody in the movie white or Caucasian, whatever you want to call it. They gave everybody 10.
They made them look dirty white, though.
They made them dirty white. But in this movie, I remember as a kid noticing that there were black people in the screen. Now, let me just play this and turn this down.
Or you covering up for the Islam because you're afraid of that.
You want to smoke.
Hold on. Regina, no, the artificial man is never going to stop exhausting his lies, attempting to replace the natural man.
Oh, yeah. The first. Yeah. This is what he's always going to do. This is his purpose at this point. But anyway, this is a scene from the 10 Commandments. And they made everybody dirty white. But I noticed even as a kid, there was a sprinkle of Negroes. Huh? You couldn't do that. Go ahead, make it bigger. Right here. See that right here? This gave you a little sprinkle of Negroes amongst the children of Israel. Now, why would they do that?
Because they like to put little stuff like that in movies.
Now, there's a scene you brought up. There was an actor back in the 50s.
Hold on. We got some smoke in the comment section. Eastwood. George, I'm always stating facts, little man, and sticking to the subject and not trolling Georgie.
Oh, Georgie. Oh, from what's that?
Georgie.
Movie? What's that movie? Movie?
It.
Yeah, from It. Georgie.
Don't stick your hand down that sewer. That's what George Eastwood wants you to do, so he can bite it off, nigga.
They have more white people with tans in that movie than Venice Beach. Exactly. Now, ask yourself a question. In a movie
AKA Nation of Islam, Travis, also delicate you are today.
Oh, in a movie about the children of Israel, why would they feel the need to throw in a few black people amongst the audience when they leave and go into the wilderness?
You know why they do this shit.
Damn, Travis. Answer the question. Why do you think they did it?
They do it to make mockery and fun of you.
Now, what's that movie you brought up earlier? When a black actor, he knocked the dude out and said, and the Jews were black.
I forget. I should have looked it up. They know who I'm talking about.
I think y'all remember
a country. It's a Western movie, cowboy movie. Yeah. It's an actor.
He's a famous actor. He's very famous actor.
He shot him and he said, that's why the real Israel was black.
Yeah.
George Eastwood, just because you toss Travis salad.
Oh,
you see, he always go to some delicate shit.
George.
Both of you are so comfortable on the casting couch.
Oh, George going in. All right. Let's move forward.
Your baby mother.
Your baby father.
There you go again with that gay shit, George. I swear you have to be.
You have to be white.
Oh, man. The sprinkles here and there in the movies is proof the universal laws. The truth must exist with lies.
Exactly. They have to tell you the truth and the lies. But I don't know if y'all care about this, but Alec Baldwin charges will be dropped in movie set shooting.
We all knew that was going to happen. He was going through a ritual.
So here's the thing, though. I believe you really couldn't charge him unless you were going to charge the people who handled the props as well, because they said there were live ammo on the set. Why is there live ammo here at all? You hear me?
You say why on the set would that be live at all? That don't make no sense to me. Why the gun would be ready to,
We'll go back with Katie. It's Dante Forston has a website and an app called Black History in the Bible. Oh yeah.
Light versus Travis. Come see about it then, Georgie.
Oh shit. Katie coming with straight facts. I appreciate that, brother. No man, I see you enough, Rich. All right, let me get back to this.